he really wanted to bring this elite level of luxury, I guess, to Met Center and to the team and to the experience that he was trying to sell fans.
You know, here we were sitting since 1967 without major improvements in the interior of the building, and he felt it was necessary to do that.
The place we played in, Met Center, didn't have a lot of those assets, and it was an older building. And so Norm immediately was looking for ways to create more revenue.
The one time they tried an idea of, you got a free lottery ticket with your ticket to the game.
Remember, he was going to give away $1 million.
It was up to, I think, $15,000 every night that was going to be given away. If they couldn't, you know, if nobody was the winner at a particular game, that cash would roll over to the next game. And so at some points you had maybe $50,000 in this pot. And these guys would run around and they got an envelope in their hands with this cash in it. And wherever the spotlight settled, that was the seat that was going to win.
Tried to do the pay-per-view thing for a while, which was an utter and complete disaster.
You had to pay for them just like you would a boxing match or something like that.
I don't even remember who put it into his head to think that this thing was going to work. I'm sure it's something you'll be able to talk about with Louis.
They needed income, they needed money and they figured this is the way they can raise some money to pay for the rights.
The North Stars always had financial difficulties, all the time.
You need to have some deep pockets to be an owner of a professional sports team.
Norm at the time, I think he was kind of getting pressure on his real estate investments in Canada.
And he was very over-leveraged, and so he was attempting to get his financial house in order.
Norm had to get money because he bought him on a shoestring. That goes back to the same thing. The North Stars always were trying to get by.
What Norm Green was asking for was $15 million.
Thinking $15 million sounds laughable now.
Sounds like a relief pitcher to me.
In today's world, that's a drop in the bucket.
At the time, it felt like a lot of money, and it also felt like, well, why should necessarily the Metropolitan Sports Facilities Commission help them out?
If you came up with $15 million, you could do some things with it, but there was no ability there to create suites, a level of suites.
I just don't think the commission and Norm saw eye to eye.
But they know how I feel. I'm not going to shy away from it. They did not help us the way they should have or could have.
1 second, we got Mike Modano here. Mike, late in the game, you had...
Because I was involved in it, so I know they were obstructionists.
I think what you simply had was short-sighted civic leaders.
I think both sides were playing hardball with the other.
There was certainly a growing tension, and I don't think there was ever the level of trust that between the sort of the powers that be in terms of what they were trying to accomplish.
Could you take $15 million? Would that have kept them here? It might have artificially. I don't think that would have been a long-term permanent solution.
You know, Bill Lester, who was the head of the Sports Facilities Commission at that time, I mean, I think he was looking out for his own interests.
From a personal standpoint, it's very good public policy to put them in the downtown area.
There was a concerted effort to get the North Stars to move downtown at the Target Center.
Target Center was a newer building, had some suites.
And the Timberwolves were blowing the doors off of things because they were brand new.
The Timberwolves come on, though, and it's like, who's this? What's this shiny new toy?
As the Timberwolf makes his appearance here.
And they were putting 19,000 people a night in the Target Center, so it was huge. All the focus was there. The North Stars, meanwhile, were getting maybe 6,000, 7,000 people a night out in Bloomington at the Met Center, where it was cold and snowy.
The Target Center comes along, and all of a sudden it's like, here we go. Downtown Minneapolis is alive. It was just electric downtown, and so that was a really fun time for sports fans.
There were other forces pushing the team, trying to get them to join the Timberwolves downtown. They successfully moved the Twins and the Vikings to downtown. The Timberwolves were there. The last missing piece was the North Stars.
And what we're asking him to do is to meet with the Target Center management to finally negotiate a deal where he could move into the Target Center.
I thought that sounded pretty reasonable. New arena, downtown Minneapolis, no reason why you can't share it.
And that was the whole thing behind this whole deal. Hey, why don't you guys go play at the Target Center? Well, if we go play at the Target Center, our revenue's going to get cut again.
The advertising, naming rights, suites, all of that, how you split all those revenues.
And $650,000 worth of concert and sports business is what one spokesman says the new competition would cost the Met Center.
That's just not the way it works anymore. Every team wants not 62% of the pie, they want the whole pie.
I think at the end of the day, Norm was really keen on having his own building. Also at the same time, there was a lot of discussion by the city of Bloomington and in the Mall of America and the city of Bloomington to sort of use Met Center property differently.